Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Queen's Wish. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're chose to join me today because we don't have... What was her name? Elpeth? I don't remember. We don't have her anymore. We have Mario over here, and Mario is very happy to join us because he's one of the Vol. Last episode... What? C? What does C do? We have that? I like that. Okay. That's good. Okay, that's really good. Anyway, what do we have to level him up? We have to level everybody up, in fact. And I need that. I need that so much. Okay, so support. Well, I don't really need it so much, but I do need it. So let's see what we get over here. We got knockback. It's not too bad. We got shield shatter. That isn't too bad either. That is for energy, so we get extra energy if we go that way, but we can't because we need to spend one extra over there. We have the evasion, which isn't necessarily a bad idea, but it is because he's a tank, so that's good enough. What do we have over here? Shield shatter and knockback. Let's go with knockback. I think that's something that I will use a little bit more. And I'll leave Mario for last because he's level 0, level 1 or something. So I'm gonna just set him up as just a boss. Also, I'm gonna spend a little bit on his cultural tree, so that's gonna be a bit of a bummer. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Not gonna be as good as Elpeth, but there's one particular spell that turns the Vol into some really good stuff. Let's see. So we're trying to get an extra energy pretty soon. Yes, we are. I would say either call bones or weakness. It's not bad. Let's go with weakness and just specialize because I will not use that as much anyway. So, yeah, that's good enough. And over here for Anna. Anna is already at a high level over here. I could want a fireball. That costs 3 energy. That's why I didn't want a fireball. That's so much. Does considerable magical damage in a circular area. It is so much, though. Shockwave. 2 energy. 20% more damage. That's good. I like that. Also build construct. Possibly good. Mind Steal. We didn't use this very often. It does increase the charm duration. That's pretty good. Free Mind. Oh, the passive one is interesting. Yeah, I have the passive one. I like it. So Shockwave is what we're gonna do. And let's see what Mario has. Now, Mario's already set up. Basically, all of his equipment is equipped. And he's level... Oh, right. He's level 10. But he's got 12 free points to spend. Which is fantastic. Passive ability... So, gives 5% chance for all allies within 4 spaces to evade magical and physical attacks. That's just incredible. That's just really, really good. 4 spaces, it could be better, but it is pretty good nonetheless. So it increases by 5%, which is not actually, it's by 5 percentile points, but I think I get it. So we got evasion charm and we got spell shield. Those are interesting, but we're not gonna go with those. So extra evasion is not necessarily a bad idea. But we'll see what we can do with that. The extra 1 energy and majory. Yeah, we'll see. These are nice just for that little bonus. But I do want to get these, obviously, so we'll see. So we got Brutal Blow, Blinding Blow, and Steel Skin. Steel Skin seems like a plain obvious thing to do. For extra resistance to and everything. Brutal Blow is potential... Oh, wait. That causes bloodletting. This one weakens the foe. I will say that this is... I can cast weakness with other people. More effective weakness, so I'll go with that. You will be faster and do more damage for several turns. Fast Feint. Does this cast fast on you? That's interesting. Of course, we're gonna go Whirlwind. Hardiness, yep. And then we have a Shield Shatter. What does that actually do? 25% damage and make your foe vulnerable, increasing your damage to it. Yeah, does it cast weakness or vulnerable? I think it actually casts Shield Shatter, which is a different thing. Knockback is useful. I'll keep at it over there. Terrifying Scream causes all enemies to flee. We have Bludgeon Senseless. Next attack will slow, weaken, and confuse your foe. So that's pretty good. And we got the Bull Rush over here, which is also pretty amazing. And I will probably want... Does 25% more damage. Yeah, I'll probably want both of those. Can I not have that? I can't undo. So that's fine. We got Inspiring Cry and Healing. Healing can come in handy. It's just as a... You know... Do I want that? I think so. Majory. Wait, this increases healing, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. It's not too bad. And if we go the route of the blessings, I mean, this is nice to have. And it's the only real one that I am going to use anyway. So, that's Mario over there. Pretty awesome. Unfortunately, he's a little bit injured, but that's because he leveled up. It's complicated. Let's explore Fort Rackenvrumvrumvrum, which is where we are. Are we? What's the name of this thing? Specifically, where are we? Down here. Fort West Bay. That's the name. And we can't build anything yet, but we are now gaining 1 iron per day. So that's good news. That's really good news. And these are just areas that we're not really gonna go into because I might be able to talk to the no, they just shout at me and order me to salute. That's not really what they do. I'm kidding. But it'd be funny if that were the case. Because it is weird that they say salute. You don't... Do you say salute when you salute? So salute just really means health. But as in... You know... Bless you, sort of health. You don't say health when you say bless you, but it's... You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Am I too confusing? I am confusing. I know. I'm confused and confusing. But that's Colonel RPG. Anyway, let's... I think we're done. So let's just... we're not gonna do anything here. Fort guards out here don't do anything. And there's only one area... There's only one building, I should say, that we can go into. And we have a Haven, Soldier, and Chief Gervin. Chief Gervin said stuff, but didn't show up down there. I was hoping for that, actually, to be the case. That thing doesn't open, does it? It does. Uh-huh. We got a kitchen back here. Right. And we have the Sage. Hello, Sage. Are we going to learn about how the Vol have the weakest, weirdest vassalage contract ever? Well, one of the 3 weakest. The chosen chief of Fort West Bay is an old hand, one of the stony professionals who have kept Haven running and vassals in line for centuries. When you enter, he automatically rises and kneels. He is showing respect. His actual respect will have to be earned. What is actual respect? Oh, right. Okay, I see. I thought I was like, he's gonna have to earn respect. No. He's showing respect. But there's another type of respect, which is the real respect. Showing respect is not respect. It's the real respect. That one I will have to earn. He grunts, "Welcome, Prince. I am Chief Gervin. Fort West Bay has been established, and I am ready to give a report." Yep, give me a report, Chief. He returns to his seat. "As expected, Vitassa gave General Aquila no troubles getting supplies and soldiers out here. We are well positioned, far from the worst battles of the rebellion. Vol merchants are stopping by now. They are being very polite. There is a lot of suspense." Suspense? Why? "The Vol is experiencing a civil war. On one side, the Masha, the rich and the owners. On the other, the Owen, the owned, who are fighting for independence, freedom, economic reforms, the standard list." Do we also deal with that sort of standard list rebellions in our... I would think we did. I think we would back in Haven. Or at least, you know, the capital or whatnot. "The war is in a stalemate. Haven's fine soldiers could help could help either side win. Everyone is wondering if we will continue our policy toward this vassal." And what policy would I continue? "Queen Shireen supported the Mashas and kept them in power. They paid Haven very well for the aid." And they are looking to me to solve this problem? Of course. Who in a war would turn down immediate victory? He sounds oddly bored, talking about all this as if he's reading from a shopping list. Whatever side we help, I imagine it would then be easy to make them our vassals again. What do you think I should do? Now he's surprised. That is the first time one of your rank actually asked my opinion on such a high matter of state. There are so many factors. No, there really aren't. I mean, anyway. Such complexity. Again, I am flattered greatly, Prince. Now please let me know what Fort West Bay can do for you. He doesn't answer me. I don't like it. I don't like this guy. Unfortunately, I don't have choices to, like, fire them or anything, so it doesn't matter what I like or what I don't like. You note that he never actually answered the question. Yes, he didn't. So, I want to learn about the Vol. You're surprised by how much this question surprises Chief Gervin, to your surprise, and he's surprised with a surprise. Know about them? I suppose I can tell you what I know. I don't usually learn about the vassal nations I serve in, just enough to run the fort and follow the orders. What about the people? I would refer to you, or rather, I would refer you to Sage Albinon. Our sages tend to do more collecting of intelligence. She could provide more insight than this old soldier. What about the history of the Vault? History? I guess they have a lot of it. Tragic stories of the harsh, hot sands swallowing up cities, that sort of thing. It's an unpleasant place. Then again, every vassal always wants to fill your ears with how horrible their lives are. Do they? Okay. I mean, maybe in your experience, I want to know about the Owen and the Masha. There is some unavoidable business. It's a standard vassal squabble. Common, really. Still requires attention and judgment to entangle it in the most productive way. I don't have any opinions on it. Have you seen similar situations play out with other vassals? We pick a side, help them win, and then as long as they live up to the conditions of their treaty with us, they can do what they want, within reason, of course. Yeah, you're not really saying anything. If you say within reason, of course, you're literally not saying anything, because you're not defining reason. You just, like, what is within reason? Praying to the correct gods? Is that within reason? Is that one of the conditions? Trading in your coin instead of having their own coin, is that within reason? Eating the right kind of food, dressing appropriately, talking the same language as you do. All those could be within reason, depending on, what kind of vampire you are. What if I ordered you to have an opinion? I would ask you for a briefing of the situation. You will tell me enough that I would figure out your opinion. Then I would have that opinion. Would I? I mean, if you would, then you are a very smart person. Because it's not, well, I don't know. It's kind of complicated. Because if I brief him on a thing, I am definitely, like, so how should I put this? Anytime you talk about something, well, the mere fact that you're talking about something is already a reflection of your stance, of your biases, or of your opinions, but more so of your stance on any subject. The fact that you talk about it is already a reflection, but that's at the very base of it all. The way or the things that you choose to talk about regarding any subject are also themselves a reflection of your opinion. So for you to guess what the opinion is, of what the opinion of somebody is regarding a subject, just based on how they expose the subject that we're talking about, either it's something that's very, I don't know, it's very, very black and white. If it's something that's very black and white, like slavery, for example, then it's a little bit easier to tell. Like, for example, I mean, I can tell I've been commenting on it every time we talk to a character here in the Vol that is on either side of the whole rebellion. They're very they're not necessarily stating their opinion, but they're talking about things in a way that is obvious what their opinion is. So in this case, it would be a little bit simpler for him to tell what my opinion would be, but I wouldn't necessarily put it in easy terms, I would just say, what's the briefing on the situation? Well, the thing is, if I said something like, the Masha have slaves, just just this sentence alone can tell you a lot of things about how I feel or how my character would feel, because I'm imprinting that opinion in my character. I say the Masha have slaves, and the slaves are rebelling. What's your opinion on this? Just asking this for a person with any amount of intelligence at all, you'd be able to tell that I don't fall for this nonsense about, oh, the Owens still have their pride nonsense. So that, you can glean. Which one is it? Glean? I think it's glean. You can glean into my opinion on the subject just from the way I talk about it, for sure. But I could also put it in other words, especially because I have been, like, the briefing has been given to me. I could just say it the way it has been given to me, and then he would be having the wrong opinion. How can you not have an opinion about such a big thing? He does have an opinion. He's just not telling you. It's not a great idea for a chief like me to get too involved in the matters of the vassals. Haven always tries to leave vassal regions and traditions alone. The only exception is if they have a practice so gruesome or intolerable that we absolutely can't stand to be near it. Yeah, you're showing me your opinion as well, by the way. Slavery isn't so gruesome or intolerable. That's his opinion. It's, yeah. Did I say? I said that he has an opinion, just not saying it. He's definitely what's happening. Also, was it this game that said or implied, I think it actually outright said, that soldiers are not meant, or generals are not meant to have an opinion, they're just meant to follow orders, or was it not generals, but like soldiers? And I think it was this game, and I said, that's not how it works. You are absolutely encouraged, at least, well, not necessarily medieval. I mean, if that's, the point is, if this is a fantasy setting, so in this setting, if that's how soldiers work, then that's how soldiers work. But as from a writing perspective, you can't just assume the player is going to think that soldiers have are impartial or anything like that, because they are absolutely not, and they're encouraged not to be, because it's important to have people who are invested in an army. They're encouraged in real life, I should say. Well, I say maybe not in all armies, because there's many different armies and many different kinds of soldiers. But so for sure it depends. I'm talking like the Portuguese army. I'm from Portugal. I'm just talking about that. But you could apply that to the U.S. Army and stuff like that. Any army tends to encourage, critical thought in the soldiers. They are meant to follow. They need to follow orders, but that doesn't mean that they need to. That they need to be blind and just blind obediency, because that's just a bad thing. Blind obediency. If any of you who are listening right now have worked under, I don't know, for example, a designer. If you, I do web development, so it's a little bit of a specific thing, but designers can apply to anything really. And if you're an engineer in general and working under a designer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can't be blindly obedient to a designer. You can, but it's gonna ruin everything, because the designer is gonna tell you something that is stupid. No offense to designers, but that's just not the job of the designer. And it's the same thing with the soldiers. A general is not meant to, you can't tell a soldier to be like, go stand there and watch for enemies. And the soldiers is just gonna stand there and watch for enemies, and it's gonna starve to death because you didn't tell him to do other things. Know what I mean? Of course, I'm simplifying, but there's a lot of nuance in war. What would an intolerable situation be, Chief Gervin? Mass human sacrifice. Mass human sacrifice? What? You mean like what? Like a holy war sort of situation? So, because the sacrifice sort of implies, so sort of like the second you just not not just killing people indiscriminately. You're making a sacrifice. So would that be holy war, like the crusade or something? Would that be mass human sacrifice? Because that sounds like it. That sort of thing. Then we use our soldiers to force them to stop. Happily, when a situation gets that bad, they're usually happy to be forced to stop. What? Okay, that takes the cake. That takes the cake as the worst line. It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. Tell me about yourself. Well, I was going to retire, and then Queen Shireen sent for me. Since a Prince of Haven would be on this miserable land, she wanted to make sure the best were here to help. For some reason, hiccups, I'm sorry. For some reason, she thought that included me. Surprised I got this post. It's a valuable one. You're going to retire? Yep. Not sure how I felt about that. I do have 2 grandchildren I could chase around, and then again, what is better than serving Haven and keeping us strong? It's an honor to be here. My mother spoke with you? She did. A full audience in the palace. It was something. Had to buy new clothes. I did, not your mother. She is very serious about this Sacramentum project. The calamity happened during her rule. She wants to make up for that defeat. And it's a valuable outpost, this one? Oh, yeah. All chiefs are allowed to engage in a certain amount of graft and mild corruption. Makes up for our low pay. Trade with the Vol was very profitable, so serving here is a good step for a chief who wants a good amount of coin. It's called the Spoils of War? Are we... Mild corruption? Just like what? Like a little bit of mold in the ceiling? It's just a little bit. What? Do you want to be wealthy? He emits a little cough. It turns out I managed to accumulate a fair amount of gold in my many other postings. I don't really care about the money I can make here. He pauses. Maybe that's why the queen selected me. She's a wise one. Okay. So if I ask about the Vol, then I can ask about the things. So I can ask about that. Another question. I want to make this fort stronger. Of course, Prince, we have enough resources to defend ourselves. However, if you want more resources and safer roads, I can provide our intelligence. For example, we have a good opportunity to get a new source of stone. Yeah, I really don't need that. I need iron. Oh my god, we've been looking for iron forever. I'm just thinking that that's going to be the limiting factor. What I said before was a little bit in joke. That said that you didn't need the resources, just needed iron. That's the only thing that you need to account for, because everything else you just have always plenty of. I think that very well might be the case. I suppose we can use more stone, though. I can use more levels, is what I can do. Fortunately, Haven actually owns a quarry near here. It's called the Blasted Pit. I sent scouts there. There were no soldiers there, but signs of monster activity. If it was reclaimed, I could hire workers to extract stone for us. Where's this quarry? Due south of here. I made sure our scouts repaired the signs. You really called it the Blasted Pit? Havenites are not a poetic people, even though that is a very lyrical name. You know, as names go, that is a lyrical name as hell. Havenites are very poetic, but judging from that name. I say lyrical, I mean just sort of poetic is the term. But lyrical feels more... If you say something is lyrical, then it seems, to me anyway, what I'm trying to convey is that it's something that you could sing off, right? And a poem doesn't necessarily have to be sung. So, anyway, those are kind of synonym, lyrical and poetic. Anyway, I understand that the place is a volcanic fumarole. Is that how it's said in English, fumarole? Huh. The name fits. A blasting pit, then, would be a more fitting name. Are we entitled to the stone? Albinen's records say it was bought from Tablen before the calamity. It is still ours by terms of our treaty, which means no, it doesn't belong to us because the treaty is void now. What should I do when I am there? Just clear the monsters out. Queen Shireen told me that you were given considerable powers and wanted to practice them in pits like that one. I would not deny you the opportunity. Okay, well, thank you very much for that. And I will see you later. We have a quest with Chief Gervain. And we also have books over here. Status of the Vol. A report from Queen Shireen, the third Empress of the mighty Empire of Haven. When King Kale declared the Vol a favored vassal, he promised our support should the Owen rebel. This was at the time thought a small concession at the time. Since then, we have learned more of the true status of our vassal. The Vol has become more unstable in recent centuries. because of the volcanoes underneath it, most likely. It's all wobbly now. As the years pass, the Masha have gained a larger share of power and wealth, as slowly more regular Vol fail in society and become Owen. They fail in society? What, do they not, they what does that do? Are we talking about what are we talking about here? Does the Vol just have a capitalist society and they're failing at capitalism? And then they become in debt? Which is a super weird tone to go with that. To go with this game, if that is the case. Because it sounds like that's the case. It's like it just really does sound, but it let's see if it is. Because it's like, oh no, they have transported modern day life, to some people anyway, here to the Vol. And these people, they went into debt because they, I don't know, they got cancer or something, and there's no universal health care in here. So, down you go. Slave now, and your kids. And become Owen. That analogy doesn't work, though. It just super doesn't work, because there's a lot of other issues that are implicated in a society like that would never exist in a society like the one in this game. You'd need, like, there's so much more stuff. It's complicated, because it's complicated. It can't be like that. I'm just joking when I say this stuff. I don't know what it is. They are failing, though. They are failing in society. Their legs break, and they're like, oh no, I can't be a good walker anymore. I'm gonna have to sell myself, or something. Their high council in Tablan is distant and detached. They do not understand what is happening. Too few owner. What the heck does that even have to do with... That second part of the paragraph didn't have anything to do with the first part. Too few owners and too many servants has led to violence and riots more every decade. Yeah. Are you saying that a slavery-based society fails if there are too few owners? Specifically, sure. I mean, no, but whatever. We may find ourselves trapped in an ugly war in this barren land and within the lifetime of your great majesty. Yeah, well, whose fault is that? Is this mine? A scroll of might. It is now. That's for sure. Click on the right buttons, Colonel. There we go. What's that? Hastes and blesses all allies for a bunch of time. Good stuff. What about this one? Treaty of vassalage between Haven and the Vol. We read this one already. And Vol Masha and Vol Owen. The Vol are noted for their system of lifelong indentured servitude. Didn't I read this one? Let's see. Their people are split into 3 parts. The Vol Owen, the servants, some say the Vol Owen, the Masha, and they're the plain Vol, those free and owning no Owen, not in Okay, yeah, I don't think I read this. Maybe I did, and I forgot about the plain Owen because I ramble about all the things. So basically, it's the Vol Owen servants who permanently sold their freedom to be freed of debt, even though that sounds like they have a permanent debt now. Anyway, and atone for crimes, or to atone for crimes. Okay, so at least that's something. I suppose that is something that would work in the setting. You know, they become slaves because it's a punishment. You know, because of the debt. Anyway. Tattoos on their right cheek mark each generation descendants must serve. Their children will be marked with 1 less until their 1 fewer, actually. Until their issues are finally free. Their children, basically. Or until they fall into that again, because of course it's the game and you are gonna fail at it. Some say that the Vol Owen are slaves. Oh yeah, the Vol Masha dispute this. And the Owen becomes so by choice. Yes, they choose to commit crimes or choose to not be rich. When forced to choose between bondage and starvation, lovely. It's like that you go to prison by choice. You could just punch your arrestor in the face and they would punch you back, and then you'd punch them back, and then you'd die. They choose bondage. Then this is the word. Yeah, I definitely didn't read this. Then there are the Vol Masha, the owners, those who have purchased the service of at least 1 Vol Owen. These are the leaders within their society, for all decisions in the Vol fortresses are made by conclaves of the Masha. Now, these two are not connected, by the way. Why are they the leaders of the society? just because it's like, oh, this society is divided into 3 types: the people who make cars, the people who buy cars, and the people who don't make cars or buy cars. And the leaders of the society are the ones who buy cars, and because all the decisions, it's made by them, and it doesn't explain why. It's literally that. These are the leaders within their society. I mean, it's a matter of fact, obviously. But the justification is because all decisions in the Vol are made by Masha. No, that's not the justification. You're just saying the same thing again. Finally, there are the plain Vol, the free and owning no Owen, not in servitude, but no power either. Also, just to clarify, probably the power is the reason why they don't have any power is the same reason why they don't have any Owen, which is they don't have any money. The plain Vol try their best to stay free of debt or crime, as in, or crime? They're free of crime. They're free of crime, as in, they're, for fear of becoming Owen. A few are lucky and merciless enough to gain Owen and become Masha, but not many. To gain Owen. I don't know what to say. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Queen's Wish, and the Vol is the weirdest land, because the text is written in such a weird way. In such a weird way. We're going to continue, though, next episode. Learning about it, we're going to talk to the Sage, and we're going to go and get some monsters killed, because that's where the fun is, honestly. So for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Queen's Wish. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment. Like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.